come up on the screen? Oh yeah.
Today's story starts on a small island off the southeastern shore of St. Thomas called Cascais, or as the locals call it, Happy Island. After we beached the dinghy, we took the walking trail around the south side of the shore, eventually coming to an obliterated coral reef. We took a few moments to take some picture and video of this beautiful reef and to admire the small bits of coral which had broken off to create this reef. After capturing some video, we continued along the trail, past an abandoned bolt hole, and eventually made it to the whirlpool and the blowhole. From here, we had an excellent view of French Cap and a nice frame view of Christmas Cove. It offered nice, serene surroundings and a place for Lauren to climb around and check out the view from above. There were many different rocks and rock formations in this area. We enjoyed our time here until we realized that this was not the end of the trail. We had an option from this point to continue up the hill or to continue to the north side of the island. We decided to tromp through the trail and emerged on the north side of the island where we had an excellent view. After taking in the view, we followed our path back and continued up the hill. As we walked up the hill, we were able to look back west and see just how beautiful the low-lying western portion of Happy Island really is. Once we reached the top, we had a great view of Great St. James, Little St. James, and French Cap. On our way back, I remembered that there was a geocache location here which we were able to find after some looking. Once we reached the picnic spot, we opened up our sandwiches and an army of hermit crabs began to emerge from the bushes.
He's like carrying it away. He's
right
like
in front of the camera. He has that whole piece of bread.
he's like running away. He's like
I had to literally watch my step as to not to crush any of these little guys as I was attempting to capture some video. Once we finished with lunch, we donned our snorkel gear and jumped in the water. The water was a little more murky in the deeper parts than I anticipated, but the shallows were nice and clear and full of bait fish. As we continued along the west coast of the island in the shallows, I was amazed at just how much bait fish there were. They seemed to go on and on and on and on. There were literally thousands of them. I figured if these little guys felt comfortable in these waters next to the mangrove roots, that we were probably pretty safe as well. We continued on, and the underwater terrain opened up into a little deeper area. As we continued into this deeper water, my eye caught what appeared to be a small barracuda. Sure enough, it was a little silver guy, probably about 18 inches long. As I began to video him, I noticed a sunken bolt hole in the distance. I thought it would make a really neat spot to explore. The next thing I saw was a large, dark gray silhouette of something that looked big, headed toward us. I initially thought it was an adult nurse shark, then I noticed it had some white on its nose. I know that nurse sharks don't usually have any markings, and as it got closer, I could see that they were large teeth. This was a barracuda, and it was enormous. I tried to get the family to turn around and head the other way, as it appeared he started to follow us. I tried to do this calmly and collectively, as to not alarm any of kids or Lisa. As we continued, I had a difficult time of keeping track of the barracuda and all the girls. It's almost like herding cats when I have these guys in the water. First they're in front of me, then they're behind me, and then they're next to me, between me and this barracuda, where I'm supposed to be between them and the barracuda. Here I am, failing at fatherhood. We were able to safely make it back to an area where I didn't feel threatened by this barracuda. We were able to see a nice Cassiopeia jellyfish, also known as an upside-down jellyfish, which almost looks like a plant as it's swimming through the water. And we ran into another juvenile barracuda, and at this point I knew it was time for us to just go ahead and head out. We piled in the dinghy, started skipping across the swells, knowing that that giant barracuda must have been chasing behind us, just waiting for one of us to fall overboard so he could have a nice afternoon snack. Fortunately for us, however, we made it back to the sanctuary of our boat in Christmas Cove, and we lived to tell the story.